would you like me to start with some of the things in the movie that we should talk about, which is aptly timed? I didn't start the timer for you full-time movie fans that care about the production side of things. Where's the focus on this? What's happening? Anyways, so yeah, I didn't put the timer on, but I can see the little teeny tiny one in the corner. We're like perfectly on time. That's great.
Man, for once.
I know, it's crazy. All it took was not paying attention.
I know.
Hey.
You know what I think? Oh,
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, hey, we don't need it.
You know what I think I was going to say was that we've been doing this so long, it's kind of like waking up without your alarm clock.
Which is what I did not do this morning.
Yeah. But when you're like...
Yeah, like a minute before.
You're like, yeah.
You're like, oh, what time is it?
I need to wake
you
up.
You beat the alarm clock that morning?
I need to wake up at 7, and your body just wakes you up at 7.
Yeah, 6:59.
Yeah.
Like you look at your phone and the alarm goes off.
That's us right now with
that's
timing.
Good. So where it all falls apart is right here.
We're hitting our groove.
How full-time movie fans got his groove back. That's another movie.
Yeah. That's true. We'll do that one next.
So, yeah. Emperor's New Groove. Cuzco's an emperor, and he's kind of a jerk.
Yeah. And
he's very stuck up and full of himself. He even has a little intro song for the morning. Everyone talks about how great he is. And it ends with an old man getting in his way in the middle of his little solo dance number.
Yeah, I guess part of Cuzco's job is
fielding questions.
Yeah,
and
trying to
concerns.
solve problems, but yeah, he doesn't seem too interested in that.
No. And so he tells the old man that he threw off his groove and tosses him out a window.
Yeah, during a dance number, he bumps into an old man because he wasn't paying attention, and then his punishment for that is death, basically.
But the old man did not die.
Yeah, no, he didn't. But I mean,
which maybe
because it's cartoon,
he might be able to.
But I mean, I think otherwise
they talk about death a lot in this one.
Yeah. I'm not sure that any death actually happens, though.
No, none.
Not a single one.
Not a single death. Spoilers.
Yeah.
So he fires his, I forget her actual title, but basically like a council assistant, Yzma. She's old. He said, yep, you're fired. Bye. Don't need you anymore.
She's definitely old and evil in a Disney villain kind of way.
Yeah, in the most Disney Cruella de Vil way. And so she obviously gets very upset about that. And then Pacha, John Goodman, comes in because he's been summoned to the palace. That's what emperors have, right? It's palaces. And he goes, Pacha, my main man, come on over here. I have a really important question for you. Your town is on the top of this big, beautiful hill, right? And Pacha goes, oh, yeah. When the sun rises, the hills practically sing. And he goes, great. That's all I needed. Thank you very much. Be on your way.
Yeah, he was like, well, what side? I mean, he's like, oh, yeah, just behind these trees over here. It's perfect. And he's like, great.
So perfect.
Thanks.
This is where my new vacation home is going to go.
Cuzco-topia or something like that.
Yeah, it's a water park.
Yeah, he's building a water park.
For himself.
Yeah, directly on top of Pacha's home.
And Pacha goes, people live there. And Cuzco goes, bye, not anymore. And so Pacha has to leave. And then Yzma tells her new young hot assistant Kronk that...
You think he's hot?
I think that was the purpose of him, was to be the hot young buff assistant that makes cream puffs.
That's definitely not a hot take.
No.
He's very in shape. He's not too bright, but he is.
Cuzco even, and I caught this time because I didn't as a kid. Yeah. Cuzco even has like a little conversation with Yzma about it where she's like, so he's the new guy, huh? And she's like, yeah, he's a little young, right? Probably like mid-20s.
She's like...
Very young for you. Yeah. And I was like, oh, interesting.
She's like Leonardo DiCaprio. She
likes him real young.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I keep on getting older, but they keep on staying the same age.
Because he said she gets a new one every year.
I missed that line. I definitely missed that line. That's very funny, though. So Yzma tells Kronk that she was fired and they're going to kill Cuzco and take over the empire, basically.
With the poison for Cuzco.
Yeah, the Cusco's poison.
Cusco's poison.
Yeah. So they're at the dinner with Cusco after
I think
she's
some levers
fired.
have already been pulled.
Some levers have definitely been pulled. Wrong ones,
Wrong.
too. I know where you're going with this. I know we're going quick and efficient with the puns today.
Dude, what can I say?
The puns and the gags. They're all efficient today.
You were saying?
So they have a nice little dinner. Kronk makes spinach puffs. He's very proud of
They
them.
almost burned. But
They almost burned. He also almost poisoned everybody. And Cusco drinks the poison, and the poison's actually llama potion.
yeah, so he turns into a llama.
So he turns into a llama. And then Kronk bops him on the top of the head to knock him out. And Yzma goes, go dispose of the body. Go take care of it. And Kronk, on the way to dispose of the body, falls and no, he drops the thing off in like the sewers. The bag opens. Cusco's there. He's sad, but he ends up. I don't even remember how. Like in town, where Pacha is.
I think the water takes him, down, and he rolls kind of onto Pacha's cart.
Yeah. And then they have their little, whoa, it's a talking llama, but it's the emperor. That's crazy. And Cusco goes, you got to take me back so I can be fixed. I got to get back to the palace. And Pacha goes, well, it's a shame. I'd head over there right now, but
you're just going to destroy
you're just going to take care of it. So maybe not.
Yeah.
And then they have their fun little their little buddy cop movie moment where they hate each other for a little bit.
Well, Cuzco definitely is very, very full of himself and thinks he knows best just because he's just like every super uber rich person. They think that they're the smartest and know the best for everybody else. So he's like, you know what? I don't need your help to go to the village. And he does this, I don't know, 15 different times during the movie. Mm-hmm. And one thing I noticed is he just does not understand what being a good person even looks like.
No.
Because Pacha's staring him square in the face for the whole movie, and he still doesn't trust him when all he's been is trustworthy the whole time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think the first time he goes off on by himself, isn't it the Jaguars? Is that the first thing that happens?
I think so.
Yeah, because he's like, fine, I don't need you.
But he does.
Yeah, and then he gets... It brings us back to the beginning of the movie where he's just in the rain.
Yeah.
Crying.
And he goes, this is me. You probably wonder how I got here.
Yeah. And then Jaguars chase and Pacha comes
and then
to
Pacha saves him. And then they hang out for a little bit. And then how did they end up in
I just remember they get washed up on a shore.
Yeah.
And then Pacha's about to give a mouth to mouth. And then he wakes up and they're both staring at each other like, oh, gross.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Cusco continues to be a jerk because he's trying to start a fire to keep them warm. And Cusco washes water on it. Then he throws a towel on the fire. And he finally gets it going, and Cusco's just by himself, being a tough guy, and he's freezing and shivering, and Pacha's by the fire. And, of course, good guy Pacha puts a towel on him so he can sleep. Right?
Yeah.
Or his poncho or whatever. Pacha's poncho. He gives it to him so he could sleep.
And then water washes them up.
Yeah,
they fall off the cliffside.
Yeah, there's a rickety bridge. It falls apart.
That's right.
Yeah, because he says
he said, "Hey, if you can get me back to the palace, I'll not destroy your village."
Yeah,
and Pacha's like, "Great, let's go straight there."
Yeah, he gives him a shake on it deal. And don't shake if you don't mean it.
And then they go onto the rickety bridge. Pacha falls through the rickety bridge, and he goes, "Cusco, help!" And he goes, "No, I was just planning on imprisoning you in my palace dungeon forever, but this is easier."
Yeah. See ya. And then
he falls, and they both fall, and then they have to climb up the mountain. Together, back to back.
There's crocodiles below, peril, certain death, and so they have to work together.
And then they do.
Yeah.
And they succeed.
Yeah, but what's funny is the whole when he finally gets the rope, it's stuck on a branch. And he pulls on the rope and a bunch of scorpions fall onto Cuzco's chest. And then he freaks out. And so Pacha has to like catch him, and he swings his face into a little tiny cave the size of his face. And then the scorpions fall in Pacha's poncho. And then he starts banging it against the rock, and then a bunch of bats come out. And
they eat scorpions.
Yeah.
Because bats like scorpions.
Do they?
I don't know. I'll ask one next time I see one. If you want.
I think the only thing I know about bats is some of them drink blood and some of them eat fruit. And most of them eat insects.
Yeah, the vampire bats eat the insects.
No.
Yeah.
The fruit bats eat the insects.
No, the vampire bats eat the insects and suck blood from donkeys.
Let's get a bat expert in the comments to straighten this out here.
Can a resident bat expert in the comments tell me that I'm wrong? Thanks. So now they're best friends, and they go to
crazy if Batman comments in the comment section.
Bateman. Patrick Bateman. So they go to a diner.
Jason Bateman.
Oh, the Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman, hey, if you ever come across this, please come on our podcast.
Jason Bateman, if you ever see this, I saw your commercial for Progressive.
Allstate.
Allstate.
Or State. Is it State Farm?
I don't know. It's one of them. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Come on. I've worked in the insurance industry. It's State Farm commercial.
Yeah, I basically know all the Pokemon cards. I'm John Pokemon, right? So look at Johnny Insurance over here.
John gotta catch them all. Pokemon.
They go to a diner. They pretend to be married. It's very funny. They think it's very funny. And they get a meal, and then Cuzco goes off for no reason, and Yzma and Kronk show up. They're looking for Cuzco. They can't find Cuzco. Cuzco's right there.
I think
there's a little rope-a-dope.
Well, I think this is we skipped an important part where Yzma went out to search for Cuzco, and they are in the jungle, and they get a bunch of much-needed information from a squirrel.
Because of Kronk.
Squeaky squeaking squeaker.
Yeah, said that a llama was getting in trouble.
Yeah, Kronk to the rescue, actually. Kronk saves the day because he's a nice guy, and
he's the only reason anything happens.
Yeah, and the squirrel was like, I don't want to talk to that mean lady, and tell her to go way over there. There's just funny bits. I think Kronk is like
Kronk does have some good stuff for sure.
Yeah, so squeaky squeaker squeaking, and he finds out that a talking llama and there was jaguars. And that's how they get pretty close. I mean, obviously, and now they're in the restaurant together.
Yeah.
And hijinks ensue.
And Pacha rescues Cuzco from being kidnapped.
He overhears.
Yeah, that they're trying to find Cuzco to kill him.
Yeah, Yzma and Kronk.
And Pacha goes, "Hey, there's this scary lady who's looking for you." And he goes, "Oh, Yzma, that's fine. I'll just go over to them and they'll take me back to the palace."
They love me. I'm their whole life.
Yeah. And then Cuzco overhears that
he's literally about to tap him on the shoulder.
Yeah, to basically get murdered.
And they're like, "Yeah, we hate this guy. Nobody misses him. We'll kill him next time."
Yeah.
And then he immediately
and then he goes to Pacha and is like, "Oh, these people, they hate me." Just
Yeah.
Said, if you didn't try to take away people's villages a jerk.
Part 15 of him not listening to Pacha.
Yeah.
When he was telling the truth. So.
And then Pacha, they travel some more a little bit, have some buddy moments, and then Pacha gets a phone call from his wife, right?
Yeah.
Saying that.
On his iPhone?
Yeah, on his iPhone. It's weird. It was a weird suspension of disbelief. Whatever, it's fine.
Because the iPhone didn't even come out till 2004 or 5?
Yeah. Product placement,
6,
early, whatever.
Something like that. I don't know.
But Pacha's wife calls and goes, "Hey, your distant relatives here?" And they's like, "What? Which ones?" "I don't know. She's kind of scary looking," and so they rush back to the village, and it's Yzma and Pacha's wife kind of catches on. Is like, this isn't.
She's smart.
This isn't real.
She knows what's going on.
No, and so they show up, and Pacha explains that the Emperor's a llama.
Dude, can I just say, Pacha's kids are hilarious. Too.
Pacha's kids are hilarious.
Yeah, and they are in on it. And they know what's going on. And know exactly how to handle these.
And so while Cuzco and Pacha head back to the palace, the kids and mom fuck aroround with.
I want to say that one of the funniest things was Pacha's little boy was woke up from a nightmare.
Oh yeah.
Dad was chased by jaguars and he kissed a talking llama. His mom's like,
go back to bed. Yeah, go back to bed. Which was it was very funny. It's like a short little one-off thing that happened before the diner.
Yeah.
And then the big chase to the end starts happening, where they head back to the palace to find Yzma's lab.
Yeah, I feel like that's like a lot of our videos. They just kind of like rush the ending. Yeah, it's just them traveling on a map.
I mean, it is.
There's no more.
It's I think the plot point is like the escape from without or whatever, and all it is like it's basically car chase.
Yeah,
is the act 3 beginning? It's like they're just chasing after each other. That's what usually happens.
And you're not watching them going through the jungle anymore. You're watching them on a map.
Yeah,
making loop-de-loops.
Like actually, yeah.
Yeah, up to the capital.
So it's a very common Act 3 beginning where it's like, okay, the movie's winding up now. You guys got lock in. Things are happening. Let's go. So they get to the palace. They find Yzma's thing, but they're being chased the whole time, and potions are flying everywhere. Yzma turns into a cat.
Yeah, well, I think one of the funniest lines is like all of her henchmen get turned into animals.
Oh yeah, can we go home?
The one guy's like, I just got turned into a cow. Can I go home?
Yeah, and they all just walk out.
Yeah, sure. Does anybody else want to go home? They're like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, that's funny. I do like that. It's like half of the things that happen in this movie are like a weird like fever dream moment.
Yeah,
that you'd see like. I remember watching the commercial trailers for Emperor's New Groove, and that was like one of the like things that just flashed by. It was them climbing up from the cliff and that are like the two biggest things that came out of that.
Yeah, Yzma being a cat, she's definitely a little tiny cat as well.
Yeah,
so she's not as threatening anymore.
They find the antidote to the llama potion, which is also the antidote to the cat potion.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Yzma could have made some good money just selling potions. You know,
crazy.
She just didn't do it.
A business opportunity.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
She was just too focused on being in control. She could have just had a really great life selling potions.
Which I would have been happy about.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Just like, hey, just go get a potion, turn into a sheep.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, I could. Every night. They get chased. They get the antidote. Cuzco turns himself back into a person. Bing, bang, boom. Everything's solved.
And the crazy thing is, by this time, he actually has become a person.
It's metaphorical.
He actually transformed into a real person. That's not an a-hole.
Yep. And the last thing we get is him talking to Pacha about how Pacha lied to him and that he was all over those hills and they did not sing. And so he's going to have to put his vacation home somewhere else. Yeah. And Pacha goes, there's a nicer hill right next to ours.
Yeah.
And so Cuzco builds his summer home next to their village and just hangs out with them.
Yeah.
Hey. You look good over there.
Look real good.
You thought about sharing your kindness with others?
Share the love.
Maybe like the video. Click on that subscribe button. And show your friends.
Yeah, just touch it ever so lightly, that like button. Move over to the subscribe button. Maybe tap your keyboard just a little bit. Leave a comment. Bye.
That's it.